This is SillyMickel Adzema, and this is the Ninth Prasad. We received the Ninth Prasad from the Planetmates. This is the Ninth Prasad of the Great Reveal, and this is the way it reads. For a very long period, these early humans lived in harmony with nature. Back up a bit. Now, in the Eighth Prasad, the Planetmates are pointing out that we became human. We became human at the point at which we started having early or premature births, 9 months instead of 20 months. It took a long time for that to evolve to where it was that became the norm, where we had birth pain for infants and for newborns and for mothers, and we were bipedal, and we had narrower pelvises than we had previously. So that's the beginnings of our that's the beginning of our humanness and our beginnings of our separation from nature or from the ways of the other planetmates and the other Earth citizens on this planet. Okay, so so even as humans, for a very long period, as humans, these early humans lived in harmony with nature still, as foragers and nomads, and as non-savage Earth citizens. It says your earliest ancestors did not even eat Earth citizen flesh, while even some planetmates do that. But this long, tranquil time was destined to end. As gestations became shorter, and more time was needed in the dependent state before the newborn could function much for itself, the gap between natural functioning and twisted, backwards human functioning widened. For the rest of your lives, the pain and trauma of birth, and from the time in the dependent state after birth, pushed tension, anxiety, overstimulated brains and states of consciousness, and behavior more and more disparate from nature's easy, simple flow. And the biggest part of that crazed behavior, pushed by fear and anxiety, emanating from the roots of your being, was your ever stronger drive to control. And that's how it ends. So, let's see. A little summary, paraphrasing, let's see. So, we became humans because we were born premature and we required the assistance of fully growns, or what we call parents or caretakers, caregivers. Uh, Adults have to take care of the babies when they're born, or else they're going to die. Uh, Babies can't just get up and go to the refrigerator and get food or anything like that. So, whereas other planetmates can actually, minutes after birth, can actually walk around and actually get them food if they needed to. They're not fully functional, but they're more functional at like I said, at the relative to us, at like what we would be at the age of about 4 years. Now, so we became human because of this dependent state, because of the birth pain. But in the beginning, we were still living in harmony with nature, and we were nomadic, we were foraging, and it was a tranquil time. But this pain from birth caused increasing tension and anxiety, overstimulated brains and states of consciousness, and eventually, over time, it just caused us to go further and further from the ways of other planetmates and from what they call the nature's easy, simple flow. Over time, we came further and further away from nature. And they're pointing out that the biggest part of that thing that separated us the most, the the biggest central component in that crazed behavior, which was was pushed by fear and anxiety, emanating from our birth pain and from our birth trauma. Biggest part of that was an ever stronger drive to control. Um, other planet mates, other planet mates, other Earth citizens accept life on life's terms, and our anxiety, apparently, what they're saying is our anxiety causes us to be afraid of what's going to come. So we're afraid. We are aware of a future that we are afraid of, and so we are trying to control. We spend our time trying to control things in the present to try and affect a future because we're afraid it's going to be bad. So we're basically negative in our feelings, as opposed to they are accepting and they have a faith that things are good and that there's no need to control it. Things are going to work out fine. We said, the youngins these days, the youth today, they say it's all good. Well, Planetmates are saying that too. They're saying it's all good, nothing to be worried about. But humans don't think it's all good. We're always afraid of a future that's going to be horrible. And so to prevent a future that's going to be horrible, we expect to be horrible, we're going to want to control it. Now, that's extrapolating from what they're saying here. We'll see if they can go down this. We'll see if they continue to go down this line of thinking. But it seems that that's where they're going, because they're saying we're crazed like we're over controlling, and we don't need to be. So I'll leave it at that. That's the Ninth Prasad. SillyMickel Adzema.